Hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Philip, also known as PS Enough. This is PS Does Book Reviews. Today we're going to talk about this book that I just finished reading, Neuromancer by William Gibson. I was very curious to reread the Sprawl series. I only had read this Neuromancer in particular. I had Mona Lisa Overdrive around for it to be finished. I went online and I realized that it was the third of the trilogy, so I decided to get all the trilogy and number zero, called Burning Chrome, which is a series of short stories, not actually a full written novel by William Gibson. And I read Burning Chrome already. I really like it very much. Now I just finished reading Neuromancer, and I'm gonna pick up the rest of the trilogy soon. This is my to read next. Count Zero, different kind of cover, different series. I no longer found this edition in particular. So yeah, Neuromancer. It's part of the Sprawl series. Is considered number one of the Sprawl series. It should be here, so it doesn't affect the camera. It's the number one of the Sprawl series. It's one of the forefather books of what became known as cyberpunk genre. It's a subgenre from science fiction. William Gibson became a very prominent, known writer for developing this whole world where cybernetic meets this pseudo dystopic future full of enhanced beings, either mechanically enhanced or computer enhanced, artificial intelligence, a place where you can try to hijack security. Everything is connected, everything is online. There's this whole parallel universe of online presence where you try to crack into each other's machines. That's called a matrix, where the movie came from afterwards. And this book in particular, I really enjoyed it. First, because it was such a prominent landmark on the genre itself, on science fiction overall, but it really coined cyberpunk itself, and it was written very well, not to describe the world, but an action inside the world. And I think that's what really made the book come alive. It's very action packed. They move, they travel a lot of action happens in different shapes or forms. There's a very tight distinction between the more physical world where you need to have like muscle presence to have your way in the underworld. Um, but then there's also the whole cybernetic side of things and exploring it and what happens when you get caught. They're very interesting characters out there, from a person who went mentally unstable and then got his whole um, mentality, psychology altered or recreated, like an existing alternate persona inside that person that was developed to be able to get a meat body to control. Um, Artificial intelligence, as I mentioned already, all sorts of augmented limbs and body parts, eyes, all kinds of different things that you can think of in terms of augmenting your body. I was very much into this kind of stuff like 20 years ago already, and I'm still a very big fan of this kind of literature and imagining what you can do in the future. And it's a very interesting future that they depict here, because it's not necessarily destroyed. It's not dystopic in that sense, but it's dystopic in the sense that it seems that companies have taken over the world, and there's a lot of secrecy trying to infiltrate each other's companies, and there are really not much authorities in terms of state. It's more global companies that control the world and what happens in the backstage of the world. And they are above the law pretty much, and they fight violently to attain the best researchers and things like that. And this whole universe started being created by William Gibson, so it's a real privilege to be able to read this work and get so much out of it, and conclude that the hype is real. Like it's not just reviews that were inflated or something like that. He really did come out of nowhere and started developing his own world. I'm sure he had a lot of influences for a lot of things, but he really coined the cyberpunk charm. And I'm really looking forward to read the other two books on the trilogy. So yeah, I don't want to say a lot of the story itself. Don't want to spoil it for you, but I highly recommend you to check it out. There are some references to a previous short story that was written also by William Gibson that was part of Burning Chrome. It's Johnny Mnemonic, who had a whole movie made, also featuring Keanu Reeves. And with the video game Cyberpunk coming out relatively soon by CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk is going to be very new again. And I'm sure a lot of people will be rediscovering the whole lore of Cyberpunk. So this is a great place to start. If you just played the game and you're looking to read about where it all came from, this is a seminal work that must be read, and I highly recommend it. It's a really easy read to do. Um, so yeah, that's all I have to say about Neuromancer. Let me know your comments on the comment box below if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you already knew it, if you didn't knew it, all that kind of stuff. Any recommendations out there as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, donate a kidney, all that jazz. See you next video. Bye bye everyone. Take care.